Oh boy, here we go again. Ooh. I'm gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna be a little bit more subdued today compared to the last stream that I did. I was very excited. I was excited to be back from vacation. I was excited to be streaming again. So, naturally, I'm gonna be a little more low-key, just generally, but also just the fact that we lost Dolly Parton and Tim Curry in such quick succession, which I'm sure is gonna come up during the stream, because it's on everybody's minds. Hello, good to see you in the chat, everybody. Welcome. Just posting that I'm doing this real quick, so give me 1 minute. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your company. Hope you're all well. More Lady Gaga song parodies. I mean, I'm honestly not averse to the idea of there being another song parody. That'll be fun. When is the new episode, Alex Davies? I just released episode 89. I want to say like 3-4 weeks ago. So there is a new episode. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's totally okay to demand to know. I understand the enthusiasm. Yeah, Capsule Monsters does come now. I'm not doing Capsule Monsters now, though. I understand why you would assume that, but in my opinion, Capsule Monsters is not canon. It's not made by the same company that makes the show. It doesn't fit into the story at all. It's very... if it does fit in there, it fits in there in a really weird way. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. It's, and thank you, Thank you to Lily Goose for the super chat. I appreciate that right off the bat. Thank you so much. Yeah, Capsule Monsters is not good. And it's not that I don't want to do Crapsule Monsters. It's not that I don't want to do more episodes of the Capsule Monsters parody. It's just that I want to finish the story that I'm parodying first. And then maybe we can do Capsule Monsters or some Capsule Monsters or we riot. If Konami invited you for a live duel in a tournament, would you do it? Oh, you mean like doing the character voices? I do sound more American than usual. Thank you for pointing that out, 16X Izal, but because honestly, and I just recognized your blaze backwards, but to acknowledge the voice stuff, I think I talked about this a bit in the last stream. I am trying to feminize, I'm trying to find a vocal placement for my voice that is more feminine. Obviously, I will be taking classes at some point. It's not something that's happened yet. I'm just sort of trying to do it by myself to find a comfortable place. And I recognize that something you probably noticed is that the accent has changed as a result. And it's not something I'm doing intentionally. It really isn't. It's something I'm just trying to sound feminine. And as a result, the accent is sort of natural. And this is what I think is happening. Let me explain. I think that when I do this kind of a tone, when I do this kind of a texture, it becomes Yugi. It becomes Yugi a little bit, you know? Does that make sense? Now, I don't necessarily dislike the accent change. I think it's honestly kind of cute. Having said that, I'm really not doing it intentionally. I'm trying to just sound cute. And hello, Demon Cross. It's good to have you here. Well, good to have you. I've always thought that Yugi was the closest character to my voice. I've always thought that. When people say, which character is the closest to your voice, I've been like, oh, it's Yugi. He sounds like me if I just am more American. And now I'm finding that when I put my, because sometimes I'll often be trying to sort of sound English and still sound feminine. And I find myself struggling to maintain the British accent, the English accent. It sounds a little interesting. It sounds a little different, and it sounds a little more like I'm forcing it. So I think what I'm doing is, and this is probably a result of doing YGO Abridged for as long as I have, it is just naturally jumping straight to the Yugi sort of sound, you know? It's not something I'm trying to do, but please know, anyone in the chat or anyone watching these streams after the fact, if you hear this and you're like, you sound American, it's weird, or if you say like, you're doing a voice, I don't like it, I understand where you're coming from, but for me, what I'm doing here is strictly sort of entirely personal, and it's not... I'm not saying that this is what I'm going to sound like forever, but this is me trying to find that place. So, I really appreciate all the positive comments. You guys are very kind. I'm a work in progress. I'm changing every day. I'm figuring things out a little bit every day. You know, being a woman is still... It's not a new idea altogether, but it is something that I'm finding... I'm encountering a lot of different things by exploring it, so, you know. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yes. And before we say anything else, obviously rest in peace Dolly Parton and Tim Curry, who died in the interim between the last stream and this one, which is just devastating. It's really hard. It's something that everybody I know has been hit really hard by, and obviously we didn't know them personally. I didn't know them personally. I never met Dolly Parton or Tim Curry, but I don't know anybody who hasn't been super deeply affected or influenced or moved by them, so it really is an incredible 1-2 punch of loss. It's something else. And yeah, no, both of those people, especially Dolly, were emblematic of the idea of being true to yourself and being unashamed of what makes you who you are. So I really obviously look up to that a lot. And it's devastating to have lost people who were pushing for that sort of thing. Especially Dolly, she was very vocal about it. So, it's another YGO Abridged stream. It's another anniversary stream. I'm B. I'm Little Karibo. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you for a little bit today. Now, I did want to say... Before we get started, before I really jump into reading super chats and watching the videos, I am starting on new medication today, and the medication that I'm taking has made me feel kind of drowsy. Like, I say kind of drowsy. It's affecting me a fair bit. Dark Magician Star, thank you. You're amazing. Celebrating your first super chat on a live stream. Thank you. That's very... thank you so much for spending your first super chat on me. You're very kind. But I am actually... I'm feeling the effects of the medication. And so it's not to the point that I don't think that I can stream. It's not that I don't think that I can do this. It's just that I'm very aware that I have much lower energy than I usually do. And I don't want to push myself too far if I can help it. I'm probably going to limit myself to at most 2 hours of stream. I know I usually go 3 hours, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off. I definitely don't think I can pull off more than that. 2 hours might even be a lot for me. So I'm going to do what I can, like Monica says. I'm going to do what I can. And I'll be here for the next 2 hours, I'd like to say, and we'll try and watch at least 2 episodes. I don't think I can do much more than that. I hate to say it. But thank you for being here. It really does mean a lot to see all of you and see all of your enthusiasm. And thank you to those of you who've been saying congrats on exploring my identity and everything. And thank you to those of you who are sharing your own identity and your own journey in the chat. I really do. I feel a great sense of community when you say stuff like that, when you share parts of yourself like that. So, thank you. Let me read some of these super chats though, because there's been a few coming in. All right. We have from Little Silly Goose. You gave a super chat, and then you gave another super chat, and you said, "Can I get a smiley face in the chat, please?" Let me do that for you. Here we go. Here's the little smiley face. And I'm gonna... I can't quite do that kitty smiley face with my face, but I'll do my best. There you go. I got a smile for you. I hope I smiled big enough for you. All right. You didn't miss any episode yet, Hounds? We've literally just started. You're totally fine. You're totally fine. Dr. Barber, or Barber Doctor, Thank you so much for the super chat. Love your stuff, B. First time being on time for one of these. Figured I'd throw a super chat to make the comment section mad. Make 'em mad. Make everybody so upset. We are at episode 30... No, sorry, we're at episode 40. We are at episode 40, Final Destination. Which is such a great play on words. It's like Final Destination, the movie franchise, which, shockingly, this episode came out in, what, 2009? And the Final Destination movies are still coming out, so you can't kill that which cannot be killed. Even that which is dead may not die. But thank you, Dr. Barber, for the very lovely super chat. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, we're up to episode 40. Which means we're coming up to the halfway point. I made a point of saying this last time. We're almost halfway there, as the prophet Bon Jovi once said. Christopher Alordice, thank you so much for the super chat there. Hey, B, feeling pink today. I'm a little bit pink. If I can be honest, though, I'm not as pink as I could be. I could be way pinker. I would be pinker, but number one, I'm feeling very drowsy. And number two, the loss of Dolly Parton. I just can't be as pink as I would like to be. But it would be fun to get more pink later on in the day. The day is young. Dash, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, love your show. Been watching since I was 13 with my brother and cousin. We had a lockdown at work today, and I could use a laugh. Oh, I'm so sorry you had a lockdown. I hope that you're past that. I hope that you're doing okay. I hope that you've gotten home and you got to kick your feet up. And thank you for watching the show since such a young age. That's incredible. It is quite warm out there, RB Alter. It is quite warm out there. Patrat Pete is awesome. Hey B, sorry, and this is from the regular chat. Sorry if this is really personal, but I would love to know how people reacted when you came out. I'm so happy for you. I mean, most of the people in my life have been very supportive. I don't really want to talk about the people that aren't, you know? I've been very happy to have done it, though. I feel very strongly about it. I feel very happy more than anything. There have been a lot of emotions, but happiness has been there throughout all of them. And I've been very surprised every day to wake up with that happiness within me. It's not something I feel all the time. It's not something I'm used to feeling all the time. So, it has been very incredible for me. Dark Magician Star, thank you for the €20 super chat. It took me a minute to figure. Oh no, this is a super sticker, and I didn't even know that those were on. But super stickers, you can throw stickers at me apparently. And then we have Bitmore Dave. Great to see Bitmore Dave in the chat. Thank you for the super chat. Props for reading positive and negative comments. That takes guts. I agree. And right now, I really do feel like I have a lot of guts, which is weird. You know, I have a kind of confidence that just wasn't there before. It just did not exist. It was not something that I ever even was aware that I could feel. So the fact that I can look at it... Here's the thing. I've been reading a lot of the negative comments, and I've been reading so many of the positive comments. And frankly, I find that the positive comments far outweigh the negative comments. But I understand the negative comments and where some of them are coming from. Some people just aren't ready for this, and some people weren't expecting this, and some people just don't have it in them to understand. And it's okay. I'm not going to let that affect me, you know? That's kind of how I feel about it. That's their thing. And that's okay. Dark Magician Star, thank you again for the super sticker. Fist bump. Cute. That is cute. Mia Pickle, thank you for the super chat. The best way I heard to describe Tim Curry movies, for every one-star movie he was in, it was because of him that it even had that stuff. That's brilliant. That is actually a brilliant way of putting it, honestly. Alexander Fitzgerald, thank you for the super chat. I always get a laugh out of the voice for Darts in the Abridged series. It's one of the funnier voices. Let me be honest, I can't take any credit for that because, one, it's based on Darts from... no, it's based on Darts. Darts' voice is based on Darts. No. It's based on Quaffio, the evil controller of cats from Perfect Hair Forever. And that character makes me laugh all the time. That whole introduction scene in episode 1 of Perfect Hair Forever is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen, in my opinion. It's one of those things, when people say they can quote my show to me, I could quote that show. Catman has let me down again. Why? But Takahata 101 should get pretty much all of the credit because he does such a good job doing an impression of that voice that I just can't pull off myself. And also his ad-libbing is second to none. And made a big part of that character as funny as they are. So, yeah. Big kudos to Taka. I'm going to read a few more of these super chats, but I would like to jump into the episodes sooner than later because, like I said at the top of the stream, I'm feeling kind of drowsy because of my medication. So, if the sooner we get through the videos, the better. I'm going to read as many super chats as I can before that, though. So, bear with me. These episodes are going to be interesting because this is around the time that I first started really hanging out with and being friends with Team 4-Star. So you're going to start seeing multiple references to Team 4-Star in some of these videos. I love Dave Willis. Dave Willis is very funny, Izal. Andrew Brown. What does Joey think about Perfect Cell? I'm not a big fan of that guy. He's antagonistic to my best friend Frieza. I don't like the way he talks to Frieza. He's kind of a jerk. He's a jerk to my friend Frieza. Everybody knows me and Frieza go way back. My BFFFF. Best fucking Frieza friend. Forever. Alright. He is a freaky bug guy. Sal's a freaky bug guy. I am not a freaky bug guy. I can't do a Sal. I can't do a Sal voice. Shakira, thank you for the super chat. Oh my gosh, thank you. Hi B, did you know in Star Wars that... Yes, I did know there's a planet named Bakura. They had a truce there. How would Yugi and Bakura react to that? They named a bloody planet after me? I mean, they've used every other name in the book for the planets. Let's be honest. Tatooine, Dantooine, Nabooine. They may as well get around to my name, Bakura. And I don't appreciate that the Empire and the Rebellion had their truce there. If anything should have happened, it should have been very messy and gotten way worse. You name a planet after me, I'm not going to have any peace. No peace in my time on my planet. How would I react to it? Planets are super special awesome. I would love to go play a card game there. Okay, but it'd better be very messy and violent. Oh, you know me. My card games are the messiest and the most violent. You're welcome. Season 0, baby. Alex, thank you for the super chat. You owe my co-workers an apology for unlocking my newest vocal stem. Leopold Vulcans all the devil. I literally cannot stop saying it. That's beautiful. I love that. That's really beautiful. Christopher B501 in the chat says, how much do you know of what's to come in the GX past what you've seen? I know most of it, honestly. I know the broad strokes of it. I know there's a cult, the Society of Light. I know about that. I know about the evil, what do you call it? He's called Howl in the Japanese, but it's like the Dark King Jaden. I know about that. I know about the other dimension. I know about zombies at Duel Academy. I know Aster has heroes of some sort. I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot of specifics, but Supreme King, that's what it is. Thank you. Like I said, I'm drowsy, so a lot of these specific references might escape my brain. But I know about the Supreme King. I know about Darkness. I know about Season 4 and how it wasn't dubbed. But I know that it's kind of a shorter season, but it sees the characters off and it sees Jaden defeating darkness and then going off on his own and on his adventures. More GX is coming, I promise. Dog Magician Star, thank you for the super sticker. And Andrew Brown, thank you for the super chat. Trans used to confuse me, now I don't think about it. Hey, that's totally valid. You don't have to think about it. It's not something you should feel forced to think about, but, you know. Your existence is your existence, and my existence is my existence. And I appreciate you not being disrespectful, you know? Dark Saiyan, thank you for the super chat. Finally caught a live stream, been watching since day one. Congrats on your recent journey. All power to you. Thank you so much, Dark Saiyan. You so-called Dark Saiyan. You've seen Dark Frieza, now get ready for Dark Saiyans. Heck yeah, trans rights. Alexander Fitzgerald, thank you again. Saw your videos in like 2010 searching YouTube for free Yu-Gi-Oh episodes, then stumbled upon your videos and was like, what the fuck is this? Lol. Been a fan since. I love to hear it, and you'd be surprised how often I hear that. There are a lot of people who say, I was looking for Yu-Gi-Oh, the actual show, and then your show started playing. And there are some people who are like, is this Yu-Gi-Oh? Is this the real show? Is this the Yu-Gi-Ohs that I've heard so much about? And then they're like, oh no, it's this one guy, it's this one person. It's this one girl. I'm gonna misgender myself a bunch, I'm sorry. I'm here to misgender myself and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gender. Marshy Demon, thank you for the super chat. Squoo de woos, I have shubidabadabagubidi. Takahata 101 was so excited to do that line. When Taka realized that Taka was going to get to say a screw the rules version, he was like, oh, I get to do the line. Dark Magician Star, honestly, my best friend showed me the Abridged series and I was so amused. The show has been like one of the main consistencies in my life. I love that. I hope that I continue to be consistent, although obviously at some point the show will end, so... You have to keep living, though. You have to promise me you'll keep living. Alessandra. Thank you so much. Oh, and you've written pronounced Josephisha. I'm sorry, I think I fucked something up. I think you must be referring to the username, and I'm sorry that I read the actual name. I'm so drowsy, I'm confused. I'm sorry. I'm a bit of an airhead right now. I've been watching you since Egyptian laser beams. I'm so happy you're discovering yourself. I'm celebrating 12 years trans. Oh my gosh. Congratulations, that's wonderful. 12 years. Wow, what a journey. Oh my gosh. I'm very proud of you, and thank you for being here, and thank you for being so open about that. I'm becoming a valley girl. It's true. Oh my gosh. It really is true. I kind of am a little bit. It's so... I live in the valley. I embody that a little bit. Oh my god. That's kind of scary. Kind of scary, but kind of exciting. Valley Girl Karibo. Valley Karibo. I hope you're having a beautiful day, Alberts. I'm going to read a couple more super chats, and then I'm going to watch episode 40... of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Final Destination. Very exciting times. I believe it's Joey versus Bakura. Wait, no, Yami Yugi versus Bakura. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty crazy episode. Some crazy stuff goes down. Luminia, thank you for the super chat. Hi, B. Your voice is so cute and charming. Oh. Congrats on coming into your own. Been figuring out that I am sort of NB and yet femme at the same time, so she, they. I was, for a long time, thinking of myself as she, they. Myself. And obviously, you know, not everybody's here to hear about my gender stuff, but given that it's coming up, I'm very happy that you found that out about yourself and you're figuring that out. It's obviously always kind of something you're figuring out as you go. But for a good long time, I was like, oh, I must be she, they. But when it came to coming out, I realized, And I was looking over a lot of evidence and a lot of stuff that I'd written. In fact, I just found today a text document that I wrote in mid-2024, like literally May of 2024, that I'd completely forgotten about. That was all about how I identify as a girl and how being a girl is important to me. And stuff like that, when I look back on it and when it was important for me to talk about this publicly, it just made me realize I'm just she, her. I'm just a girl. And that's great. It feels good to say that, and it feels right. It feels like when I personally was saying she, they, it almost felt like a placeholder, and I was just kind of dipping my toes in a little bit. But now I know that I'm she, her. It's very clear to me. It's interesting to be on the other side of it, you know? But thank you for sharing, Luminia. Itamar Strauss, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, since 2024. It's weird, right? Itamar Strauss, thank you for the super chat. Before going on vacation, Joey and Frieza had a little bit of a problem because Frieza didn't know what's a card game. How did they pull through? And is Frieza a better friend than Yugi? Everybody wants to know about Joey and Frieza. I don't know. What is a card game, Joey? Why are you guys always carrying around these tiny boxes full of small pieces of cardboard paper? What is the purpose of it? You can't blow planets up with that. Frieza, you never play card games where use comes from? Why is everything you say plural? I don't know, but anyway, why? You've never played card games? Come on. Surely the Frieza race knows how to play Exodia the Forbidden One. I am Exodia the Forbidden One, for the record, because when I show up, your planet is no longer bidden. But no, I've never played a card game. That's weird. That's weird, Frieza. I'm gonna forgive you for that, because you're from outer space, and I guess not everybody knows about the greatness it is duel monsters. That's right, not everybody knows about it. And how does Yugi feel about it? Oh wait, no. And is Frieza a better best friend than Yugi? You know, different strokes for different folks. Yugi hasn't destroyed any planets yet, so the jury is out. Zachary Hauser, and this will be the last super chat I read before we watch the episode. My favorite 4Kids avoiding death moment is in 5Ds when Sayer says to Misty that her brother was sent somewhere that's constantly on the move and no one, not even him, knows where it is. This is an interesting trope, isn't it? This is an interesting trope, and it comes up quite often in children's media, where instead of people dying, they get sent somewhere. And this kind of happens literally in the show Kamen Rider to some people. They get sent to the end of time sometimes. And then when I think about it, one of the most glaring examples for me is the Green Goblin sending Mary Jane to another dimension in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. It's a whole thing. Like going somewhere you can't get to as opposed to killing them. It's I guess it's one way to write around it, especially in translation. All right, I just want to reiterate, while I get the episode set up here, that I am feeling pretty out of it. It's not completely ruinous. I wouldn't have started the stream if I felt like I wasn't going to be able to do this. But I do want to preface me watching the video and me continuing the stream with, at any point, I might feel like I need to call it. I might feel I need to slow down or stop. And I will do my best to give insight into the video, but because I'm feeling kind of drowsy as a result of my meds, it might be harder for me than usual. So I'm going to do my best. But for now, let's not worry about that. Let's just watch the videos. Joe Coons, I will not. Thank you, though. Good to have you, Cream Puff Baba. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, we've got episode 40, Final Destination, which, as I said, is a reference to the Final Destination series of movies, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I like some of them. Some of them are a lot of fun. And what I really love about those movies is Tony Todd. What a great voice. What an incredible, timeless performance from Tony Todd. Anytime he's in something, it's just so good. Like, the voice alone often carries it, but he's also such a good actor. And Tony Todd is in pretty much all those movies. And he was in the most recent one, Bloodlines. And I thought that it was such a moving scene. I know this has nothing to do with my episode, but it's such a moving scene because you can tell when they filmed it, Tony Todd knew he was dying. And I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so fascinating as an actor playing a role in a movie like that is about death and basically looking into the camera and saying, yeah, I know I'm going to die, but what matters is what you do when you're alive. And it means so much more. Anyway, it was a beautiful thing. Tony Todd, incredible actor. Anyway, episode 40, let's go.
This ain't a scene, it's a goddamn card game.
Let's look at the... Let's look at the cards.
This ain't a scene, it's a
That's how the song goes as well. It plays that bit over and over again.
goddamn.
We've got the Iron Sheik, the real world's champion. He'll make you humble. We have the guy from the Slap Chop commercial. I don't remember the name of the guy. All I know is he says Vince. That's his name, Vince. Hi, it's Vince with Slap Chop. You're gonna be in a great mood all day because you're gonna be slapping your troubles away with the slap. Just slapping your troubles away with the Slap Chop.
Game.
And what is that? Oh, it's Sam and Max. You can barely tell because of the interlacing. Then we have King DDD.
How can I help you, King DDD? I need a monster to clobber that Dan Kirby. That's what we do best at NME.
You better get it with a money-back guarantee. We love to see it. King DDD. And then we have Teddy Ruxpin, who, if you don't know, you probably didn't grow up in the 80s like myself. But Teddy Ruxpin, this version is from the cartoon. But Teddy Ruxpin was a piece of merchandise, was a toy, who you put a little cassette in his stomach, and you would close the stomach up and press play on his stomach. You would press play on this teddy bear's stomach, and its mouth would open, and it would speak to you. It would say the things that the voice would say on the tape. So you could make your own cassette tapes and record your voice on it and have the teddy speak your voice. It was a very uncanny experience. It seemed very appealing at the time when I was a kid. Now, it is a bear, just to be clear, it is a bear. That's Teddy Ruxpin, the teddy bear. But he also had a cartoon, and I think the cartoon was called, like, The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin or something, but I'm going to double check that. The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin. Yes, The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin. They were very original. But all I can remember about Teddy Ruxpin, the cartoon, was the theme song going, "Come fly with me tonight. We'll build a fucking airship." They didn't say fucking, but I think it was magic airship. Speaking of airships, let's get back to the episode where they're on a blimp.
Hey, Bakura, something's been bugging me. How in the heck did you manage to win 6 locator cards in a single duel? I don't know. How come you're always making that stupid nyeh sound? Nyeh? What stupid nyeh sound? The one you just made. Nyeh? What are you talking about, nyeh? You're doing it right now. I don't get it. What noise, nyeh? The one that's coming out of your mouth at this very moment. But I can't hear anything. Nyeh. Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. Nyeh, 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 nyeh. I still don't hear anything.
Now that is basically a rehash of the Duke Devlin "I can't hear my own theme music" joke, but it's fucking funny. Both of them are funny. That one's funny. It's a bit more on the nose, but it's funny. Just anytime I get to do a different variation on the theme song is fun. Like the Bakura show theme that we heard the other day, the a cappella version where I was like, "Kuwaita." That one's fun, but I enjoyed doing that.
Using this cheap lottery machine, Bishop.
I must still be using my old microphone. I wonder when we'll notice the microphone changing, because this very clearly is still a desktop mic that I don't know how to use.
I'll now choose the participants in the first round of the semi-finals.
Get your hand off my butt. Sorry, it does that.
Again, me slowly suggesting the implication that I am about the butts, and also Duke, Devlin, and Tristan. Kind of a ship.
And now, with Herr Kaiber's permission, I shall activate the machine!
Just do it already, you offensive stereotype.
I sound really far away from the microphone in this one. It's weird. I don't know if I'm only just noticing that, but it's obviously there. You can hear it.
Heil Kaiber!
Yes, heil me.
See, I like that joke. Some of you are like, oh, you reject all of the Nazi jokes. I don't. I think some of them are kind of funny. That one's funny because Kaiba's like, yeah. So that one is funny because Kaiba's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, heil me, okay, sure. He's very apathetic about it.
And it looks like the winners are Bakura and Yugi. The semi-finals will take place on top of my Kaiba Corp Doom ship at an altitude of 4,000 feet. The wind currents will make it extremely dangerous, and the slightest bit of...
Oh! Sound effects! We've got to the sound effects! I just clocked it. The sound effects are happening. This is the episode, and I think they even acknowledge it. This is the episode where sound effects actually start being a thing. That's exciting. That's something to be aware of. That's something to notice. Fucking sound effects, wow.
Turbulence could send us all spiraling to our untimely deaths. Any questions?
Are we in outer space?
Sure, why not?
Hooray! I'm an astronaut!
Tell me something, Yugi. Have you ever dueled with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Now, I want to talk about that, not because of my show or because of Bakura. I think it is funny that Bakura keeps getting all these Joker references, though. I don't even think I was doing that intentionally. I think I just was like, that's a classic villain line. Are you taking off? Everybody say, have a good therapy session, Marin.
Thanks, everybody.
My beautiful partner.
We're talking about penises.
Interesting. So Bakura says, have you ever danced in the devil with the pale moon? Have you ever danced in the devil with the devil in the pale moonlight? And that obviously is a reference to the original Tim Burton Batman movie. And that line is interesting to me, not because of that movie specifically. I had the novelization of Batman Forever, the Batman Forever novelization, which obviously starring Val Kilmer, etc. That was my first ever Batman movie that I saw in theaters. And I was very excited about it because I was all about Jim Carrey. So he was the Riddler in that movie, so it was very exciting to see him doing something. So I was all about Batman Forever. I was like, I gotta go see this movie. I want to know all about it. And so I bought the novelization of Batman Forever. And I think that it must have, like a lot of film novelizations, included deleted scenes in its narrative, because often the deleted scenes don't get removed until the editing process of the film. So the novelization tends to retain a lot of that stuff that just gets removed. The Batman Forever novelization opens with a scene, which I believe is a dream sequence. But it opens with a scene of young Bruce Wayne going into his backyard of his Wayne Manor and encountering the devil and dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. Literally. It literally ends with that happening. And I just was very confused when that didn't happen in the movie. I was like, when does the devil show up? Weird, right? Anyway.
Look, why don't you just cut the crap and tell us who you really are, Bakura? Or should I call you the Spirit of the Millennium Ring, who has no official name as of yet?
Actually, we're
both called Bakura. What? But that's just confusing, not to mention highly unlikely.
Oh, just wait until season 5 when there's 3 of me running around.
We don't have to wait, baby! We don't have to wait at all! We can just... Well, we have to wait a little bit. we have to wait a little bit, but we don't have to wait. We're there!
Even the fans have trouble keeping up with that one.
Oh no! It's the other Bakura! The one we don't like! You're gonna have to be way more specific, Taya.
Hey, no fair! I threw the Millennium Ring into the woods in Season 1. How in the name of continuity did you get it back?
I thought Tristan was saying a completely different word, and then he said nuity. But that's actually, yeah, you know, that's a good question, because that's what I was asking when I saw that episode. So let's hear what I gave as an answer. Oh, I bet I say a wizard did it. Is that what I said?
Oh, there'll be plenty of time for explanations later.
That's way better. That's way better. I'm happy I did that. I'm happy that I kicked the can down the road. Maybe we'll come back to that. Maybe when Tristan meets Yami Bakura in Season 5, Tristan will be like, so about that fucking frisbee. Yes, actually, Lunks Athea in the chat says the ring came back to him because his spirit is linked to the ring. And I think that is the actual real explanation. And I accept it. I do accept that as an explanation. And I just think it's funny that it's so not acknowledged.
In the meantime, I shall vanquish the Pharaoh once and for all and take his Egyptian god card for myself.
Tell it to Anubis, you walking Deus Ex Machina.
Those fools still believe me to be the innocent Malik Blishtar. I must go out of my way to maintain my disguise. Hey everybody, I am extremely indifferent. Did you just say something? Ignore me!
Now, to acknowledge, a lot of people love that ignore me joke, and I do want to credit where credit is due. I totally ripped that off from Venture Brothers, which I don't remember what the character's name is. Like, it's some sort of observer, watcher character. But the point of the character is he's kind of a play on the Watcher from Marvel, which is like, I'm here to witness something significant happening, and you're not supposed to be aware of my presence. Now, I still think it's fun. I think it's a fun variation on that joke, with Marek saying it, because it very much is Marek making a loud fuss and still asking people to not pay attention to him, the Grand Galactic Inquisitor. Thank you so much, Skullcrush, you know. I think it fits. I think it fits this moment. I think it fits Marek, and I get that it's not 100% my original idea. But I will say that in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Parody that I'm making, I think it's okay for there to be some jokes that aren't entirely original. I love the ignore me bit. I think it's funny in both Venture Brothers and in this.
Shouldn't we be wearing our spacesuits?
It's only a matter of time before Yugi plays his god card. Until that time, I'll just stand here and pretend I don't have a boner. I summon
Kaiba's talking about his boner a lot in this season. Kaiba's dick is coming up a lot.
Necrothea to the field.
It's an alien, just like the ones that abducted me when I was a child.
That explains so much and yet so little.
I activate Dark Sanctuary.
These sound effects are so loud. But you know, at least it means I'm excited that they're there.
Now the duel will take place in a twisted and horror-filled environment where only the bravest souls dare to venture.
An anime convention?
Close, but no cigar. Here the spirits of the damned roam freely, and every second is like living in a wide-awake nightmare.
Still sounds like an anime convention.
Look, we're in hell, okay? Did the giant bloody eyeballs not tip you off?
I thought they were cosplayers. Really good cosplayers.
Now, funnily enough, at this point in this point in B's life, 2009 B, I hadn't guessed it at anime conventions yet. I'd been to one or two, but I don't know if I'd had enough experience to consider anime conventions to be like hell. So I think I was being a little mean, but sometimes you gotta be a little mean, you know. But this was way before I had a massive exposure to anime conventions by going to them frequently. You know, this was right at the tipping point of going from Little Karibo, B, sort of being at home and thinking, this is fun. I know that there are conventions out there and there is an audience out there, but I don't get to see them or be there. And then after this, I basically was doing nothing but that for a while.
No such thing, I'm afraid. Even in hell, everybody stares at the hotness that is Duke Devlin.
Quiet, you fool! Do you want the aliens to probe your anus?
Maybe. With
I forgot all about Tristan thinking they were in space. He thinks Duke's a witch, and he thinks they're in space. He thinks that the witch is going to get an alien probe.
Dark Sanctuary in play, I can summon all manner of supernatural beings.
Okay, we have Slimer, we have Space Ghost, we have Casper, and we have the Funky Phantom. The Funky Phantom often getting overlooked in the grand scheme of, the grand scope of Hanna-Barbera properties. I feel like the Funky... Oh, wait, no, that's right. Speaking of Takahata 101, we have a big cameo coming up here, and this was a huge... This is why I prefaced the episode by saying you're going to see some references to Team 4-Star, because this is about where I started to get to know Team 4-Star, and as a result, I had the option... I was given the option, I had the ability to go to Takahata 101 and say, hey, you think you could do a Ghost Nappa cameo for me? And this was right after Nappa had become a ghost. This was in the interim, I believe, between Season 1 and Season 2 of DBZ Abridged, so Ghost Nappa was very... He was in the zeitgeist. He was Zeitgeist Nappa.
To the field.
Oh yeah, just got real up in this bitch.
He's so quiet, and then Marek is so loud. If I was a better editor back then, I would have lowered the fuck out of Marek's volume or raised the fuck out of Taka's volume. But no, kudos to Takahata 101 showing up as Ghost Nappa. We love it. At the time, I think even then, when I said to Taka, would you be Ghost Nappa for this one joke? Even at that point, Taka was like, I'll do it. But I don't want to always be Nappa for the rest of my life. Which I think that Taka's done a very good job of, you know, not just being known for that. I think there was a moment, a very, very brief moment, when Taka was Nappa and nothing else. And that was how people just thought of him. But since then, I think that he's gone on to be known for various other things. You know, Death Battle and, you know, Helsing, to say the least.
It looks like Yugi doesn't stand a ghost of a chance. Get it?
Ignore me!
Huh?
Ghost?
Ghost. Ignore me!
And now I activate my Ouija board magic card. With this in play, I can communicate with the dead.
What are you gonna do? Ask the Naruto Abridged fanbase to come kick my butt?
Oh, but... Wait. Rude. I was such a dick. I was being such a dick to Naruto Abridged. I go from like, look at my good friend Ghost Nappa, and then, fuck Naruto Abridged. I'm a dick. 2009B, total dick.
They had a fan base?
Oh, even
Touché.
Even dickier. Even dickier there. No, shout out to Naruto Abridged. One of the earliest, if not second earliest, Abridged series to have been made on YouTube and to find its footing, in my opinion. Naruto Abridged made by, of course, Vegeta 3986 and Masako X. Very good people. Missed the show a little bit.
The Ouija board is about to spell out a word so evil, so foul, that they had to censor it twice to get it past standards and practices. Now it just says final.
What did it say before?
Disney.
Now, I'm very proud of the fact that his mouth looks like it says Disney. I don't know how I feel about the joke generally. I guess it's kind of aged well because Disney has only become more powerful and more evil. And the fact that it looks like he says that is pretty cool, in my opinion. And that, yeah, is the bad word. I think it's a little frustrating, if only because final and death don't have as many letters as the word Disney. So it's kind of frustrating in that regard, because it should be a word that has the same number of letters, ideally. But Disney is as a punchline there, it seems like it works for a lot of people.
Bakura just said the forbidden word.
And this joke has layers now too, because they're playing the Star Wars music, and back then Disney didn't own Star Wars, I don't believe. So this actually, yeah, kind of predicted a bunch of stuff here. Pretty wild. No, I had no insider information. And of course, there's even more layers to it, because I would go on to be hired to do the audio description for the Star Wars Disney movies. So, you know, don't let your memes be memes, as they say.
Should we cancel the show? No. Our master gave us specific instructions not to cancel it until the end of Season 2. Don't worry about Bakura. He'll get what's coming to him. Down with Disney! All hail 4Kids!
They're, oof, that's loud. They're enemies of 4Kids, I guess? I don't know.
Just one more letter will seal your doom, and then your Egyptian god card will be all... Egyptian what now? Oh, right. I completely forgot I had that. Come forth, Slifer, the executive producer!
Now that's crazy because I'm just full on using the actual music when Ra gets summoned. So that's really wild to see that happen in the Abridged series after sitting here with you guys and watching like dozens of episodes, and finally we get a big dramatic summon of Ra. Wait, Ra? Am I saying Ra? I mean Slifer. Did I say Ra? Slifer.
Holy honor sandwich. What's wrong, Bakura? Is my god card really that intimidating? No, I'm just shocked that we're actually using music from the Yu-Gi-Oh soundtrack for
there
once.
it is. Yeah.
Don't worry, Bakura. I have a plan to save you from certain defeat.
Marek, your last plan involved me severely injuring myself and lying on a cold hospital bed for a dozen episodes while you hogged all the card games for yourself.
Yes, but this plan shall be different.
How so?
This time you'll be hospitalized for an entire season.
You know it's a good thing you're pretty. Otherwise, I'd have to suffocate you.
Ignore me!
Sometimes I wish I could.
There's peak thief shipping right there in the Abridged series. Sometimes I wish I could. That's very gay of you, Bakura. I actually, watching this episode, first of all, this is a really good Abridged episode in my opinion. I think this has come together really well. Not just because of the sound effects and everything, but because it feels like a dramatic moment in the story, and I frequently feel like I drop the ball in that regard. I frequently feel like I lose these dramatic beats by leaning into the comedy a little too hard. And this still feels significant for these characters. Even though it's not treated seriously, it still feels like there's something happening here that matters. So I feel good about that. The other thing that I'm thinking when watching this one is that there's so much potential for different Marek and Bakura scenes that I didn't use, that I wish I could go back and use, because them talking to each other while this duel is happening is really funny and really cute. Even in the actual dub episode, it's really funny and entertaining because Bakura's just like, piss off, I'm playing a card game. and Marek's like, I know what you should be doing. I know what you should do this. Bakura's like, no, let me do it. I'm a fan.
Hey, it's that jerk, Marek Ishtar. What an asshole. Hey, you don't know him. Perhaps he's just misunderstood. Yeah, if by misunderstood you mean an asshole, stop being so judgmental. He could be a nice guy.
No, I'm definitely an asshole.
Not helping, Odeon. Settle, that guy's going to interrupt the duel.
That's fine.
I honestly, when watching a lot of these episodes back, and I don't remember a lot of this stuff, but watching a lot of these episodes back, I'm like, I genuinely was like, what did I do with Odeon? I couldn't remember Odeon's character. I couldn't remember what the jokes were. So first of all, I obviously was like Pinky in the brain, and then I immediately changed my mind. And then having him come back and be like, yes, I am Marek and I'm a dick. And then Marek be like, no! That's really good. I'm really proud of myself for that choice. That's funny.
Just so long as nobody looks at my crotch. You might want to reconsider calling your attack. Bakura is under my control. Now watch as I release his host.
Somebody help. My Britishness is fading. I can barely feel my stiff upper lip.
Go ahead and attack your friend, if you dare. What, him? He's not my friend. I barely know the guy.
Rude.
Oh shoot, seriously? Seriously, I don't think we've exchanged a single line of dialogue. Hell, I don't even know his first name.
It's real.
Yeah, could you keep it down, Bakura? I'm trying to talk to Marek over here. Okay, but still. You know, if you attack, he might get seriously hurt. Yes, but the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the British.
It's just this is funny. I want to be able to say something, but it's just funny. I'm sure part of it is that I'm on my new meds and I'm kind of drowsy and I just don't know what to say, but it's pretty good writing.
Or something along those lines. Hey, Bakura, any last words before Slifer toasts your ass?
I want my mummy.
That'll work.
He's so mean. It is funny sometimes when Yami Yugi doesn't hold back, because I do think that it's pretty in character for him to be like,
I don't care. Why would I care? I don't even exist on your plane of reality.
but no, there are, I often think that my characters are a little too mean to each other, but I think when Yami Yugi is like, I'm gonna win, I don't care, that is funny, because it feels like he would go there.
Marek, if I survive this, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, hey, this is kinda awkward, but do you mind if I borrow your Millennium Ring? I mean, it's not like you'll be around to use it in the foreseeable future.
Over my dead.
I often worry about how I'm going to present a character being taken out, because I don't know if you've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know how many of you have seen Yu-Gi-Oh! But frequently the end of a duel will be dragged out, like there'll be a big long shot of the attack, there'll be a big long shot of the character reacting to it, there'll be a big long shot of the life points going down, there'll be a big long shot of the character falling to the ground. And so I, for the abridged version, often need to just be like, okay, it cuts to them being taken out immediately. So here is an example of me just going, blah! And then cutting to Bakura laying on the ground. And I think it works for the joke. I wish I could have made it a little more dramatic.
I choose to take that as a no.
I can't believe Marek made me do this.
Hey, he didn't make you do anything, you jerk. You almost killed
I love Gollum Joey here. I remember looking, because here, basically what's going to happen is Tristan is going to grab Joey. I think what happens here in the original episode is that Joey's like, I'm going to get you, Marek, for what you did to our friend. And then Tristan is like, no, Joey, don't do it. But obviously the context is completely changed. But more than anything, I love Joey just being like, my precious. I'm Gollum, man. Yeah, Gollum from Brooklyn.
Cora, and now I'm gonna tell everybody.
Hey everyone, Joey has tickets to see Miley Cyrus in his pocket.
What the heck are you talking
Look,
about?
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, Tristan, give me
Works
back
every
my
time.
pants. Yeah, 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 yeah,
What?
yeah.
I guess I must have maybe shown that at Anime Next. I wasn't at the event. Anime Next 2009 was an event that I telephoned into. I was still living in England. In fact, I know exactly where I was, although I say that. I don't remember the name of the town. But I was at a friend's wedding, and it was, I think, the night before the wedding. I was at a bed and breakfast, and the people running the panel called me and said, can you speak to people? I think that was, I might actually be misremembering that with a different event. I actually think Anime Next 2009 was one I was very awake for, now that I think about it. I was at home. You know what? My brain is not functioning 100% right now, so it's going to be a fool's errand trying to remember it. But it was really cool to see people show up at Anime Next. There was one person cosplaying as Carly. No, there was one person cosplaying as Mokuba. And when I saw them cosplaying as Mokuba, I went, are you cosplaying Carly from 5Ds? Because they have similar aesthetic. Anyway, what's the post-episode? There's 42 seconds left. So let's see.
If it hadn't been for you, I would be now in someone else's digestion.
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show.
Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax, take a load.
The f is with your hair, your hair, your hair, your hair. I like you, your hair, your boobs, your hair, your personality, and oh my god!
The shiny Mokuba.
The shiny Mokuba. I got a master ball with your name on it.
It's also starring Takada 101. And I want to give myself a pat on the back a little bit for how kind of well, quote unquote, Ghost Nappa has been edited into that footage, in my opinion. Having him be a lot more pale and see-through, that, for me at the time, wasn't easy. And I think it ended up looking pretty good compared to how it might have looked if I just put a static image of Ghost Nappa on the screen. That's not me doing the impression. That's not me doing the impression. That's the actual Takahata 101 from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. And obviously, if you know anything about Taka, and you've heard me talk about Taka on these streams, you know that that audio was totally ad-libbed. It was not written. It was not written down for him. It was something that he did on the spur of the moment, in the moment, and just, he went nuts, and I was like, this is great. I will make this work somehow. That was the, yes, I guess I should acknowledge the rapping dog. There was an animated Titanic movie called Titanic: The Legend Goes On, which is a weird name for a movie about Titanic, because I guess it goes on? Oh, you know what? I bet they called it that because of My Heart Will Go On, now that I think about it. But no, the Titanic animated movie, if you've never seen it, I don't know who made it. I don't know what country it comes from, but it is very much just sort of ripping off various character designs from different animated movies, throwing them into a blender, having random musical sequences, including a rap sequence where a dog saves a mouse from being eaten by a cat, and the mouse says, "If it hadn't been for you, I would have already been in someone else's digestion." And then the dog says,
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show. Working all day because it's time to unwind, kick back, relax, take a load off your mind. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing because it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine because it's party time. Party time, it's party time.
You know, if you've ever heard that, it's its own kind of earworm. It's an earworm like the worms from Dune are worms. It is destructive and it's terrifying. Evie Curry, there are at least 2 of these fucking movies about the Titanic. I imagine Titanic is probably a brand, a property that must have, especially after the James Cameron movie, inspired a lot of shitty movies. All right. Stefan the Socialist, not sure if you're going to see this B, but "nyeh" is one of my vocal stems. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very happy to have provided people with vocal stems. I hope that you feel very vocally stimulated. Let me read some super chats and then we'll get on to episode 41. It's so loud. I'm sorry. At some point I must figure out how microphones work. I'm sure. I'm going to read some super chats and then we're going to watch episode 41 of YGO Abridged, which is entitled Chenkwe, which is another Borat reference, which means that it's going to involve Shadi, which I've already talked at length about Shadi, my feelings about the joke, which are, it had its place, it no longer is something I want to do. When Shadi comes back, he won't be Borat, mostly because I want to make jokes about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Borat jokes in the year 2026, despite the fact that there was a sequel, I just don't think they're gonna hold up. They're not gonna fit. But, you know, if you enjoy Shadi here, more power to you. All right. Let me read some of these super chats. God damn it, Nappa. I'm sorry. Clearing my throat a lot. Oh, I already acknowledged your thing that I shouldn't have read. Rubberman, thank you for the super chat. Hey, y'all, prepare yourselves for the rubber band, man. Are you going to change your VTuber pink? It is so tempting. It is very tempting, But I don't think it's something that will happen imminently. Honestly, I'm more tempted to just use a webcam and just be on screen, and you guys can see how pink I am without the need for a VTuber. Rissa, thank you for the super chat. Of all the songs you've covered or used, I'm surprised the Bangles' Walk Like an Egyptian hasn't made an appearance yet. You want to know why the Bangles' Walk Like an Egyptian hasn't made an appearance? It's because I didn't really listen to that song when I was growing up, and I didn't know about it until way later somehow. I hadn't heard Walk Like an Egyptian for a long, long time, so I never had the inclination to use it. It seems like something that should be obvious. It seems like any kind of Egyptian reference that would get thrown in there would be in there with them. But no, it's just I've never been into that song in any way, so it's just never been something I thought to do, which is weird. I do love the Bangles, though. The Bangles, they did Eternal Flame, which is a song I would like to introduce to YGO Abridged somehow.
Close your eyes, give me your hand, darling. Do you feel my heart beating? Do you understand? Do you feel the same? Am I only dreaming? Or is this burning an eternal card game? Say my name. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. I've forgotten it.
I love the Bangles. She Pudding, love the name. Thank you for the super chat. I love coming home to these streams. You've really gotten good at them. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Thank you for sharing your time.
Play my game. I'm the king of games. Everything rhymes with game when you only use the word game. I don't want to lose this card game.
Kai, thank you for the super chat. Bakura versus Kaiba abridged soon. How many months? Well, it's probably going to be the 2 episodes from now, because the first episode is going to be all about Grandpa telling his story about going to the tomb and meeting the pharaoh for the first time and finding the puzzle, and then the episode after that will be Bakura versus Kaiba, which is, I would anytime people ask, how long is it going to take, I always give my best guess, which is always my most optimistic guess. And I always am wrong. I always am wrong, and I hate it. It gets to the point that I don't trust myself to tell people when I think it's going to come out. But I would like it to come out before the end of the year. I would like it to come out before the end of the year. J Crafters, thank you for the super chat. Hey B, this arc still has a few of my favorite lines. Yugi, what's that? Yugi, what's that thing? Taya, that's Kaiba. I don't remember that one. And Mokuba Mobile away, Mokuba Mobile away, or simply ignore me. It has some good stuff, honestly. Around this time, and this is part of the reason I brought up Team 4-Star. Around this time was when Team 4-Star and I were becoming friends and getting to know each other and sort of, looking at each other's work and being like, hey, we're having a lot of fun. And, it was just a very, our friendship was developing and flourishing, and we were really kind of just getting to know each other. And as a result, watching Scott's work, watching Kaiser Neko's editing, and seeing what they could do with their show, and seeing the potential that you could reach with a parody like this, because the stuff they were doing even in season 1 was so far in advance of what I thought that I could do. So when I saw what they were capable of, and when I got to know them as people, I was encouraged and inspired by them to the point that I was like, I can't rest on my laurels. I can't just assume that if I put in like minimum effort that it's okay, because some of these episodes I just sort of like, it's not that I didn't try, it's just that I didn't want to try to go further than I needed to. So at this point is when I started being like, well, it needs to look better, it needs to sound better, it needs to actually feel like an episode, the way that Team 4 Star's videos frequently did. And I don't think I've ever come close to matching Team 4 Star as far as quality goes, visually or even orally. But it's why that you see a sudden change here. It's why you suddenly see things like the sound effects kicking in and the lip flaps and everything. It's because I was seeing what they were doing and I was like, I need to challenge myself. And it was really wonderful to get to, experience that knowing them as people. We don't talk as much as we used to. Not to say that we don't talk. I talk to Scott like every other day, and I talk to, a bunch of those guys. I see a bunch of those guys in real life a few times every so often, but, back then it was like, I log on to Skype and I can talk to Team 4 Star. My microphone cut out? Did my microphone cut out? I'm sorry, was I too close? Kitty, what's wrong? Twinkle, are you upset? Did I go silent? I apologize. And yes, I did talk about it toward the beginning of the chat, but rest in peace, Dolly Parton and Tim Curry, obviously. It's really sad. All right, we have a few more super chats. Twinkle, what's up, girl? You want to come up? You want to come up in my lap? Come on. Twinkle. There you go. There you go. Oh, baby. Twinkle's with her mama. Little baby girl. What will I do after Season 5? After Season 5 of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll probably make more, like, of the Evil Council and the Capsule Monsters stuff, and I'll probably make more Naruto spoof. As far as videos like this go, I don't think that's all I'd like to do. I'd like to sort of branch out from doing the parody stuff. I'd like to, I have a few ideas for not serious scripts, but more serious than this. I've talked about it in a previous live stream, but I'd really like to do a queer romance, sort of inspired by my own experiences in the voiceover industry. And my experiences haven't all been positive, and I've wanted to kind of make fun of my own experiences and the people that I've met through voiceover a little bit through this idea for a story, for a romance that I have in my head that I really would like to put down into a script at some point here. Sending love, Nessa. Nessai Plier. Subasa93 in the chat says, can you give me tips on how to improve my voice? And this is for anybody. If you want to improve, practice is the best suggestion that I can give you. I can't give you a specific, like, this is exactly how you're going to do it and this is going to make you sound good, because I just don't think I have the kind of experience that can give that kind of advice. But what I can tell you is what worked for me and what works for everybody, which is just keep practicing, keep reading things to yourself out loud, keep reading comic books or magazines or narrative fiction like fan fiction, anything that allows you to read aloud and read in character voices, or just read with your own voice, because your own voice is a really important tool, not just in voiceover. Your own voice and your own confidence with your voice is going to be life-changing, just on a general social level. So if you want to have a better handle on your voice and how to use it, practice. Just read aloud to yourself when you're by yourself or with groups of people, if you can find them that want to do it with you. My cat is currently stuck on my sock. Hang on. There you go, little baby. I am going to do Dark Side of Dimensions Abridged at some point, yes. That's my goal. I want to do that after Season 5. Yes, admittedly, when I said what I would be doing after Season 5, I guess I should have said Dark Side of Dimensions Abridged. But that is absolutely on the plan, on the docket. On the docket. Sorry, I'm just going... I'm going to read all these super chats that I can, and then we're going to watch episode 41. I'm sorry for the wait. Jim74, thank you for the super chat. Disney is an amoeba that will one day eat the world, so the line worked and has aged well. Isn't it depressing? Isn't it depressing? Good to have you, Catty girl, and I love to hear that you had a crush on Kaiba. Kaiba is very crushable. Yami Yugi would tell you this. He mind crushed him. I don't know, McCauley. I'd have to look into that, but I imagine it's probably because some video got privated that I replaced with a different video. I don't know exactly why it says 90 videos. I'd have to look into that. As far as I'm aware, there's no secret video. It might have been copyright claimed or something. Happy birthday, Rebecca Sue. Grist for the Mill, thank you for the $20 super chat. I do appreciate it. Itamar Strauss, I will. Thank you for the super chat. Carlos S., thank you for the super chat.
Everyone, gummy bears.
Everyone, gummy bears. Gummy bears. Grist for the Mill, thank you again for the super chat. Would you permit a belated 20th anniversary tribute video? Oh, please. No, I would permit that so hard. I would permit the heck out of that. You are permitted. You are totally valid for doing that. I'm always late. You may as well be. It's only right that the celebration of YGO Abridged would be late. The episodes are always late. You can be late. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, I'm feeling kind of drowsy from my meds, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm a little bit slow here. Sir Straw Hat, thank you for the super chat. How are Taya and Rio under rod control as non-Steves? Is Rio under rod control? When does Rio become under rod control? I feel like, and maybe I didn't do this, but I thought that maybe there was an implication that Taya's name was changed as well. But was Rio controlled? I don't remember that. Can we hear an Odeon cover of the Gummy Bears theme? I'll have to look up the lyrics. And also, that voice is not easy, but I will see what I can do here. Yeah, I don't think Rio was under rod control at any point. It was just Bakura pretending. Odeon forcing Bakura back into control. Did Odeon do that? I don't think so. Oh, okay. You guys know more about this than me.
Taya has been Steved.
There you go. That was the implication. Marek brainwashed Rio. When? Sir Straw Hat, no, I'm gonna question this. When did that happen? When did Marek brainwash Rio? In the meantime, here is the Gummy Bears theme song as presented by Odeon, the best I can remember it.
Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Master Marek, high adventure that's beyond compare. Master Marek, they are the Gummy Bears. Magic and mystery are part of their history, along with the secret of gummy bear juice. Their legend is growing, they take pride in knowing they'll fight for what's right in whatever they do. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the Gummy Bears. And there's more of it, but it's the same lyrics.
There you go. No, Rio doesn't get brainwashed as far as I know. Normal Rio had a bit of brainwashing while the Dark Bakura was still normal, if I recall. Really? I feel like this is a misunderstanding of what happened in the show. I feel like Bakura is pretending that stuff's happening. I feel like I've never remembered it that way, you know? But I might be remembering wrong. Honestly. Ooh, I feel funny. Let's see. Jacqui, thank you for the super chat. The over at meta stuff usually doesn't land well. I agree. But I still like the setup into season 3 and everyone trying to save the show from being cancelled. Solid bit of meta commentary while maintaining stakes. That was my attempt. Yeah, it was really supposed to be... It was supposed to be my attempt at telling a story that affected the abridged characters in a way that the original characters weren't affected. Like, oh, well, these parody characters are in trouble because their show is being canceled. And it's like, yeah, it's funny on a conceptual level. I don't really know if it... I don't really know if it's good or if it works. I don't remember it working very well, in my opinion. I think I kind of tried almost to retcon it as it was happening because I was like, this isn't as funny as I thought. Song of Storms, thank you for the super chat. Good to catch you live again, B. Hope you're well. Thank you. I'm doing okay today. Caught up with the streams last week. They've been great to have on as a distraction while starting rehab exercises for a recent fractured elbow. Oh, I hope you feel better. Gosh, that's a rough injury. Yeah, that's the other thing in the chat. People are saying, yeah, that I think I gave people the impression that I really wanted to end the show because there were people that thought when I canceled the show, quote unquote, at the end of season 2, that was my actual intention. Then I changed my mind. No, at no point was I trying to be. At no point was I considering canceling anything. I just wanted to fake people out to think that I was doing that. And unfortunately, it gave people the impression that, yeah, I was doing that and then I changed my mind. So it isn't conveyed very well. It isn't funny. So yeah, the further we get into that, it's like, trying something. I actually had a webcomic. I had a few webcomics back in the day. And I had one webcomic in particular, which, by the way, had a main character who was a woman pretending to be a man for like 500 strips. But a very early plotline in the comic was me canceling the comic and a demon showing up to cancel the comic and them having to fight the demon from canceling it. And it didn't work then. And similarly, I don't think it worked here. I think it's just a little too meta to the point of being like, what are you doing? You know? But yeah, feel better, Song of Storms. I hope that elbow heals up really good. I hope you feel better soon. AE Double, I will not be saying the name of my webcomic because you can still find it out there. I don't know if you can find all of them. I don't know if you can find all of the webcomics I made because I made several. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and name some of them. One of them was called The Fairer Sex and was about a character from my original comic that was fighting a revolution against an oppressive alien government, which, leads to lots of yucks. Then there was another one called GFC, which was short for Generic Furry Comic, and was about my OC, which was a German Shepherd that I had. I had this OC from back in my early 2000s, and was about that character. Can we get to episode 41? I'm sorry. I'm feeling kind of slow because of my medication, so if I get distracted and I take a while to respond to people, I'm really sorry, Xavier. I really am. Muted Jester, thank you for the super chat. Hey, B, I was in a group that was going to do a Zexel Abridged way back when. Somehow our lead got you on a stream to wish us luck. Happy birthday, Emmy. While it didn't pan out, your support was an honor. Thank you. Happy 20th. Well, thank you. I'm sorry that you didn't get that off the ground, but I always wish people well when they're trying to put an abridged series together because I know it's a bit of a monumental task just to get going, and it's intimidating because there's so many other examples of abridged series out there that you compare yourself to, you know? But way to give it the old college try, you know? Trying is difficult as well, so kudos for that. And happy birthday, Emmy. Brady Wells, thank you for the super chat. Who do you think would win in a fight? John Wick versus Beatrix Kiddo. Oh, trust me, I know who Beatrix Kiddo is. When I was naming myself, when I came up with my new name B, I certainly thought of Beatrix Kiddo as one of the various Beatrixes I was thinking of. But who would win in a fight? Well, I'd have to give it to John Wick, because I don't know about John Wick. You know, I haven't seen all the John Wick movies, but having seen Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, I feel like Beatrix Kiddo, I feel like the bride gets a bit more of the worse end of the stick than John Wick. I feel like John Wick is just a little bit more of a force of nature than the bride, you know? They're both great. They're both unstoppable, and they're both, you know, motivated by similar revenge situations, but I think John Wick just kind of takes it because I don't know if there's anything that happens in John Wick similar to when the bride gets the blunderbuss, the shotgun right to the stomach or whatever, and she gets knocked the fuck out and she gets buried alive. Does anything like that happen to John Wick? Because that feels like, I feel like John Wick wouldn't succumb to that, you know? Now, Jason Bourne, that's a challenge. Uri Black, thank you for the super chat. Because shut up. Because shut up. Budabot, thank you for the super chat. High five. I tried. I'm trying to high five you. My little tiny Karibo hands don't work very well. I'd love to do more Season 0, Macaulay. Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm putting to one side so I can focus on YGO Abridged. Derp Herper, thank you for the super chat. Hoping for another good 20 years, my queen. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Thanks for giving all of us 30-plus-year-olds something to quote alongside Homestar Runner. Oh, you put me in incredible company there. I don't know if I deserve to be compared to Homestar Runner. Oh my gosh. Calling me queen is one thing. That made me blush, but comparing me to Homestar Runner, I feel completely unworthy. Slick Yami, yes, I think your super chat went through, but let me just make sure. Oh, it's the last one. Yeah, it hasn't popped up yet. I haven't gotten to it yet. Shakira, thank you for the super chat. Any advice to give those wanting to make their own anime abridged series? I'm going to try and quickly summarize this, but my main piece of advice is have fun. Do it to make yourself laugh. Don't worry so much about an audience. If you're making yourself laugh, if you're having a good time, hopefully that will be infectious enough to draw an audience to you. But you're not going to immediately get an audience. It's not going to happen overnight. So as long as you're enjoying yourself, that's what matters. Think about that before you think about anything else. Bonjour, Shin-Shuzen. Ça va? San, thank you for the super chat. Hi, B. Thank you. Congratulations for the 20th anniversary from your Mexican fans. Oh my gosh. My friends and I have been fans since high school and still continue to love the show. Could I get a happy birthday from Joey? Hey, it's Joey Wheeler here. And I'm going to make sure that I'm reading this to the right person. San XD 4840. Happy birthday there. I hope you're having a really good Brooklyn birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear San. Yeah. Happy birthday to you and many more. Je parle un petit peu du français. I don't know if I nailed that or fucked it up. One more super chat and then we're going to watch episode 41. Slick Yami.
You ain't so slick. I'm the slickest. King of slick.
Thank you for so many years, B. You helped me and many others more than you know. I love you so much. You're so sweet. P.S. My favorite video of yours was the GX reaction with Dimitri. You showed me how to say Heart of the Cards correctly. I love it. Thank you so much. Je parle un peu. I say un petit peu, a little bit. Un petit peu.
J'aimerais de les règles, j'ai de l'argent. Yugi, oh my.
Slick Yami, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for the kind words. And I'm glad that you enjoyed the GX Dimitri reaction.
Out of the way.
All right. Well, it's time to watch another episode. It's time to get comfy. Let's get comfy with Auntie B and watch some Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode 41 entitled Cinque, which, as I mentioned, is a Borat reference. Let me drink some water real quick. Wee wee.
Parce que.
Because. All right, let's watch this. And this is an episode I assume. Wait, it has Borat in it. No, it has Shadi in it. Sorry. I don't remember what happens in this one. Is this the one where? Why is Shadi in this one? What happens in this episode? This episode is. I'm having a Gandalf moment where I'm like, I have no memory of this place. What? What happens in this one? Why is it named after Shadi? Why is it named? Is it the flashback one? I don't think it is the flashback one, is it? Oh, the Pegasus flashback. Okay. I completely forgot.
YGO Abridged. We're about half as popular as Team 4-Star.
Ah! You know, every so often, and there's Washu, my favorite. Every so often, in some of these videos, in some of these episodes, I will put in little sort of, I guess I'd consider them to be like denotations, little jokes that are there for me to sort of acknowledge that something has happened and that there's a significant milestone within the journey of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. And I think that was me saying,
Yeah, Team 4-Star's better than me.
I think that was me being like,
Yeah, gotta give it to them. They're doing it better. I have to admit it.
because I'll be honest, there was a moment in time where I was a little bitch about it. And I'm gonna get real. I'm gonna get super real with you guys. And I think I might have even acknowledged it briefly on the streams before. But when Team 4-Star came to the scene, when Dragon Ball Z Abridged started coming out, I was seeing it. I don't know how many of you remember this. There were these top, like, you could look at the top charts of the videos. You could say, which are the most watched videos on YouTube this week or today or this month? And this is sad. You're going to be like, B, you are sad. But I was always very proud of the fact that whenever I would release a Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode, it would appear at the top of that list. It would be like the #1 video on YouTube for that week or that day or that month, and it would just happen. It would just be like, I could put a video out, it would just shoot right up there. And that was a thing for a while. Oh, sorry, my stomach. When Team 4-Star showed up, suddenly they were at the top. And there was a very brief moment in time, I want to say maybe a month or two, where I was like, what? I was like, who's this? What Dragon Ball Z? What, I'm supposed to be there. Like, I do mean a brief moment in time in the grand scheme of things where I was a real bitch about it internally. I never said anything. I never did anything. I think maybe I was in one Skype call where I talked to somebody else and I was kind of emotional being like, but I don't know. I feel like I'm being overlooked now, which is ridiculous. You know, it's just really sad that I had that reaction. But it really goes to show that I could have leaned into that. I could have been a real asshole and I could have been like, oh, well, fuck them. I'm going to go after them. I'm going to make them feel bad for this. I'm going to make fun of them. And, you know, I still made fun of them because I make fun of everything. But I'm really proud of myself for putting my fucking ego away, for putting all of that out of my mind, because I ended up becoming very close friends with these people and they became very important to me in my life and my heart, you know. So I really, honestly, I'm so relieved that that was a very small thing that I felt that went away, you know? Let's look at these cards.
YGO Abridged. We're about half as popular as Team.
We got Ooh La La. Everybody loves Ooh La La. Space Channel 5, baby. I wish they'd make another one. I know they kind of did make a VR game. It's not the same. Ooh La La, she's beautiful. She's goals. We got the big-lipped alligator moment.
4-star.
And then Cooking Mama, even better than Mama. And Toe Jam and Earl, a classic video game that I'm a big fan of. I used to play the hell out of the original Toe Jam and Earl, and I used to rent the hell out of Toe Jam and Earl 2, Panic on Funkotron. Those are some classic video games. Classic stuff. And then, of course, fucking Washu, the best character in Tenchi Muyo. If you've never seen Tenchi Muyo, I highly recommend it. If you're hesitant because it's a harem anime, I get it. Harem anime, not my thing. Tenchi Muyo, though, that's my thing. Love those girls. Love those girls. Washu, my original AOL Instant Messenger handle was Washu-chan fan. I was Washu-chan fan. The greatest scientific mind in all the universe. I love her, and I love knowing that we're getting more Tenchi Muyo because of that recent successful Kickstarter, which means we'll get more Washu. Yeah. It's interesting because I know I'm going to talk about my gender stuff again a little bit, but kind of, not directly. But I just reconnected with a person from my life from when I first joined the internet, and they are now a beautiful trans woman, and I knew back then that they had inclinations in that regard, and I used to roleplay with them as Tenchi Muyo characters, and I frequently roleplayed with them as Washu. So it's great to see Washu, and it's great to be reminded of old friendships, and great to rekindle those friendships, and know that they're beautiful, beautiful women, you know? All of them.
Oh, sorry I took so long, guys. Stupid Mass Effect elevator technology.
That is a reference to the fact that when you played the original Mass Effect, they would hide the loading screens by having the characters get in an elevator, and then very slowly they would gradually reach their destination, but there would be long conversations during the loading, and they would be memorable, but the whole time you'd be like, when are they going to get to the end of the bloody elevator? Lampenstein, why did you keep sneezing? Sneezing? What do you mean? When? Did I sneeze?
Mokuba, thank goodness. We have to get Bakura to safety. You gotta land the blimp, man.
You gotta land the blimp, man. There's a really kind of elaborate edit coming up with Joey pounding on Kaiba, which is something a lot of fangirls would like to see usually. But this was a very specific moment in the episode where I was like, I don't know if I can make this look good. I'm going to do my best. And I literally, frame by frame, edited Joey out over the footage of the door. And I made it so that it kind of animated. You'll see. If you've not seen it before, you're going to see it in a minute. Most of you probably know what I'm talking about because it's a very, very funny visual, in my opinion. But it was painstaking Photoshop editing.
Seto says landing is out of the question, and he also said to direct all complaints towards somebody who gives a crap. Hey, open this damn door right now, Kaiba. Whoa, stop it, Joey, you're making a huge mistake. Whoa.
I really love whenever Mokuba freaks out. Anytime Mokuba's like flailing, I'm like, Mokuba, I'm so upset. So I loved getting to be like, whoa.
Oh yeah, what's the worst that could
Here
happen?
it is.
Punch me again and find out. Please.
Now it doesn't look perfect. Looking at it now, I can see the flaws. I could probably do a better job these days. But back then, that was an impressive edit for me. That was something that really, I was really excited to pull off, and it didn't look amazing, but at the time it felt amazing, you know? Fly high again. Cut between the moon
Due to the
and
near
New
fatal
York
wounding of one of our
City.
contestants, there will be a 20-minute delay before the start of the next round.
This song always makes me think of Mom.
These are going straight onto my nipples. Ice cube fetish.
I remember making that joke and somebody calling me out because an ice cube fetish would imply that Marek needs to put ice cubes on his nipples in order to achieve orgasm. And I was like, I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but for all you know, that is what it means.
People are wasting your time. This blimp stays in the air and that's final.
But Bakura could die if we don't get him to a hospital.
That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Mr. Kaiba, please, show some compassion.
Show some what now?
Hey, don't
That moment, I believe, is the only time in the entire series that Kaiba and Serenity interact. And I don't even know if Kaiba actually talks to her in the episode. I think that I added that bit where he speaks in response, but in the actual episode, it's just Serenity being like, please don't let him die. And that there are so many fanfics about Seto Kaiba and Serenity because of the whole, I guess, the Joey connection. I don't know. But it's a popular ship, and yet that's the only time they really do anything together.
talk like...
Hey, don't talk like that to Joey's severely spankable sister. Poor kid. Tell me, Serenity, what's it like to be related to a furry?
Yeah, ixnay on the airy fay, Kaiba.
Sorry, what's a furry?
He didn't say furry, he said, fury, as in the kind
Brooklyn
I
Fury.
have. You know, Brooklyn Fury.
Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Did you just say Brooklyn furry?
Oh, go yiff yourself, Kaiba.
I've just now clocked, by the way, that I intentionally, and I didn't remember this until seeing this bit, Joey's got a black eye. You know, it's been so long since I've seen this, and I completely forgot that was a follow-up from the joke earlier. That's really funny. I'm proud of that. That's a nice subtle joke that just straight up I missed until rewatching it here. Yeah, Kaiba must have punched him because he said, find out what happens, and that's what happens. You get fucking decked by Kaiba.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, Google image it, you Jake.
Hey, Serenity.
Yeah, Jake.
I was just wondering, after this tournament's over, would you ever consider maybe,
Hey, Serenity, how'd you like to fly Air Devlin?
Look, Tristan, that son of a bitch is stealing your woman. You know what you must do. Make him disappear.
The Zack and Cody stuff. Honestly, a big swing on my part. I actually still really like it. I think it fits Tristan really well because, you know, of course Tristan has some kind of voice in his head, but in his case, it's very specifically two voices and they belong to Zack and Cody. And they seem to operate entirely independently of him. He frequently ignores them.
Oh, faithful trading cards. You're the only real friends I have. Except for you, Baphomet. You're kind of an asshole. What's that, Dark Magician Girl? You wanna make out? Well, I'd be happy to. Holy jeez! How long have you been standing there?
Long enough.
Duke, I know you put a spell on Serenity so she would fall in love with you, and I want the antidote.
Oh, because that's a witch, right. Right, he thinks Duke is a witch. As we know. I was like, what do you mean, put a oh, right.
Sorry, Tristan. I can't help it if the ladies love to play with my dice.
You just brought sexy back for the last time, witch.
Kick his ass, Tristan. Yeah, really f*** him up good.
Where is your broomstick now? Hey.
I forgot they did this. I forgot they had a big fucking miniature fight on the top of the blimp, Tristan and Duke. Now, I do want to say, This music, again, I believe this is from Xena Warrior Princess, and I've made at least 3 references to Xena Warrior Princess in this show. I gotta give kudos to Xena Warrior Princess, Lucy Lawless, Renee O'Connor, just fabulous women, iconic show, wish it would come back in some shape or form. The music by Joe DeLuca, I think it's LaDuca, I forget, but it's so good. And any chance I had the opportunity to use the music from Xena, I took it because it felt epic enough, but also a little bit silly.
Stop dodging! My voice gives me super... I'm tripping! Tripping!
No! Cody! Or maybe it was Zach!
You know, I remember watching that bit over and over again because I was so happy with how it came out. There's so many elements at play. First of all, there's a really dramatic fight between Duke and Tristan, which by itself is funny. The fact that those 2 guys are going at it. Then the inclusion of Zach and Cody egging Tristan on. And then Tristan going, trippy, trippy. And then Zach or Cody bouncing down the side of the blimp. And then the punchline of, maybe it was Zach. I genuinely thought that I'd done the funniest thing that I'd ever done. I was so proud of it because there was so many visual edits involved, and it just felt like I'd leveled up. You know, that moment, I guess, is the moment where I felt like I'd leveled up on an editing level, on a comedy level. It felt like I'd outdone myself, you know? And yes, Reborn Zombie points out, I think this is very important, the lip flaps with the moving backgrounds, very new for me at this point, especially in this episode. I think this is the first time that I attempted something like that, because there are moments in this episode where Duke and Tristan are hanging off the side of the blimp, and they're talking, and I remember showing my ex, I called my ex into the room, and I was like, you gotta see this, watch this, and I showed a clip of Duke talking while the background was moving, and I said, did you notice anything? And my ex was like, no. And I was like, that's amazing, because I edited the hell out of that. I love it. I'm so happy.
Hey, you're that guy from Duelist Kingdom.
Yagshamash,
Uh-huh.
my name is Shadi. I am here to help with very much saving of the world. And
Very
maybe when I
much
am
saving
finished,
of
we
the
go
world.
find woman and have sexy time.
I suppose it could be worse. You could be acting like Bruno.
Ah, I see that. A lot of people are like, should he be Bruno when he comes back? No, he's not going to be Bruno when he comes back. That would just be really weird. That would be even more distracting than this, maybe. Just because it's like, why did you change and why are you now this?
High five.
Oh my
Have
god,
that.
we're gonna die!
Duke, stop
I
screaming!
can't believe I'm actually gonna die in a show about fucking card games!
That bit, I'm so proud of the animation on the lip flaps while they're hanging from the blimp. And also the line, I can't believe I'm going to die in a show about fucking card games, I think is one of Duke's best lines, if not his best line. Just very happy. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of Duke saying that because it's so, I believe him. He is so exasperated about that.
Duke, please! It's pointless! After all, in space, no one can hear you scream.
So what do you do exactly? Just show up at the end of every season and explain the plot?
I have many roles in your story, little Jew boy.
Oh,
One
God.
is to provide you with backstory, but my first and foremost task is to protect the fourth wall. Great success.
The fourth wall?
Yeah,
What's
great
that?
success.
Without the fourth wall, the balance of the universe would be turned upside down. Man would become like the animal. Animal would become like
no.
the dirt.
Oh, no.
And dirt would become like the Jew.
You know, Shoddy, you're kind of a buzzkill.
Duke, no matter what happens to us, I want you to remember
Disagree
one
with
thing.
that.
In another few hours, the sun will rise.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know, but it's true.
Your old friend.
He's so upset. He knows he has to say the line, but he doesn't understand what it means himself. Also, yeah, just, again, acknowledging that that joke was not okay from back there.
The Maximilian Pegasus once came dangerously close to breaking the fourth wall when he visited my homeland of Egypt. Like many people from America, he was seeking to exploit our third world country.
I'd seen Iron Man at this point, so I had to make an Iron Man reference. And this is interesting as well, because at this point, the MCU was really only like maybe 1 or 2 movies. And so at this point, I was referencing what I assumed was going to be maybe a couple more Marvel movies. And it turned out we're still waiting for more of those, and they're in the Avengers Doomsday. Like, everybody's excited for that, right? Anyway, Iron Man was fresh, and that's why I made this joke here.
Time.
This music is so unfabulous. Don't you have anything by ABBA?
For years, Pegasus had been searching for the Pharaoh's tomb. It was like movie film Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, made by deceitful Jewish filmmaker Steven Spielberg. Only not quite so disappointing.
At this rate, we're never going to find
I like that movie okay, for the record.
the Pharaoh's tomb.
If you promise to rid my land of the Jew, I will show you where it is hidden.
Well, when we first met, you took out my eyeball and replaced it with a cursed artifact. But I'm sure this time you have only the best intentions for me.
Yeah, Pegasus, why are you trusting this guy? He took your eyeball.
Yes, I screw you up good.
I can't hold on, Duke. I can feel my hand slipping.
Even more Xena music.
Let go, dude.
I can feel it.
Oh,
I'm
God,
gonna let
Jesus
go.
Christ.
Oh no,
If
this is
let me go,
terrible.
I'll never
We're
sleep
going to
another
die.
moment again. Oh,
I can't.
Jesus.
Hey, Duke.
What?
Just kidding. Hey, look. I can see my house from here. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hey,
Tristan.
When
I remember making that, I remember doing that joke and releasing the video, and so many people who saw the video imagined Tristan's parents, and most of them just imagined them looking exactly like Tristan.
Pegasus saw the Pharaoh's tomb, he was so excited. He was like a woman after being given shiny new cage to sleep in.
Jesus! This is one of the most important historical finds in centuries. I'm turning this shit into trading cards.
Now that line I thought was going to be way more popular. I thought that I'm going to turn this shit into trading cards would become a meme that everybody was using. That it's very rare that I think that about my dialogue, and I thought because of just the emphasis on this moment and the fact that he says shit and the fact that it's Pegasus talking about cards, I thought that that was going to like take off. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. And that's okay. And yes, Pegasus does, in the Japanese, say, Jesus! And so I had him say it there pretty much exactly as he says it in the Japanese, because I'm such a huge fan of whenever Pegasus swears.
But then something go horribly wrong.
Yeah, everybody involved with the production of the Egyptian god cards was killed.
Now this joke coming up is kind of constructed around the idea that in the original, it shows like a big elaborate montage of people dying when they try and like capture the essence of the god cards in paintings and stuff. Now, I needed it to be a quick gag because it's the Abridged series. Now, these days, I might have done something much bigger with it, but because of the fact that it's an Abridged video, I think that this gag is funnier than anything I could have gone out of my way to write.
What? Even Chad from accounting?
Especially Chad from accounting.
I'd love that. It became Bill from accounting because, and this is real. This is the joke. Whenever I called it back, became Bill from accounting because when they were auditioning the Naruto Abridged movie, they had a line for the people auditioning for one of the characters, and one of the lines that they had people say was especially Bill from accounting. And I remembered reading it and like reading the audition and being like, this only makes sense if you know that it's referencing my show. So I thought it was funny that they changed Chad to Bill in order to make it their own, I guess. So then I just decided, okay, it's Bill from accounting now because you changed it. I was being kind of again, kind of dickish. B of 2009/2010, had dickish qualities.
And so, Pegasus decided to design the cards himself.
It's like I'm stealing from the Egyptian god's DeviantArt account. Woo! I'm so naughty, naughty, naughty.
Now, these days, of course, we would make some sort of AI joke. At least he's not using AI. At least Pegasus is not using AI, right?
But that very night, he was plagued with nightmares that make his clams shrink like tiny mouse.
In the name of all that is camp, what is happening? Where am I?
What you are seeing is the future. If you allow the Egyptian god cards to fall into the wrong hands, then the fourth wall will be destroyed and the world as we know it will cease to be.
You got a point, chat. He does use AI. He has AI. He has a Millennium Eye. You're right. I should give you kudos for that. Funnier than anything I could have come up with, honestly.
If you knew this would happen, then why did you take me to the pharaoh's tomb in the first place?
I am, how you say, kind of a dick.
What dark forces have I unleashed?
See, honestly, when Shadi is just saying funny things, he is funny. It's just, unfortunately, he's often quoting Borat, and it's just offensive.
Dirty hands! Dirty hands!
And so, with the help of gypsy woman Ishizu, Pegasus hid the Egyptian god cards where even the craftiest of Jews would not be able to find them.
Stop!
Yeah, because obviously he couldn't have just destroyed them or anything.
The power of the cards was too great for them to be simply destroyed.
Right, so the power of the Egyptian gods prevented a guy from tearing up a few pieces of paper that he painted himself. Sure, okay.
As I was saying...
Bullcrap.
What?
What?
90...
I needed to linger on that moment a little bit longer for that joke to play, in my opinion. In order for that to be funnier, it shouldn't have cut immediately to Yugi or away from Yugi.
6 Duel Monsters cards on the wall, 96 Duel Monsters cards. Take one down, trade it around. 95 Duel Monsters cards on the wall, 95 Duel Monsters cards on the wall, 95 Duel Monsters cards. Duke, you're not singing.
You can tell I'm really getting a kick out of the fact that I can edit their lip flaps while the footage is moving. I'm really leaning into it, and it's really funny because they just have been hanging off the blimp the whole episode. That's really funny.
You must beware, Yugi. The Egyptian gods were never meant to be controlled by mortal men. That is why you, alone as the chosen one, must possess the god cards, so that the fourth wall will forever stand.
So let me get this straight. According to this show, the Egyptian gods are real.
Yes!
But doesn't that mean all other religions are wrong, and the hokey ancient Egypt religion is the only real one?
Yes!
Huh. Didn't see that one coming.
I did.
Now, that's interesting because I remember when the movie Catwoman was coming out. I don't know how many people remember the movie Catwoman starring Halle Berry, but one of the important plot points in that movie is that she's resurrected by the goddess Bast, the goddess of cats. I don't know. I don't know my ancient Egyptian, unfortunately. I don't know about all the gods very in detail. But she does get resurrected by the goddess Bast, and it's an important part of the story that Bast is real and gives her life back and gives her cat powers. And I remember this is again B of 2000 and whatever being really sad and lame, but I got into a bunch of arguments with people online about this movie and about how it was ruining comic books and how it was ruining Catwoman and how they shouldn't be making this movie because it's not how Catwoman actually is and it's going to ruin comic books and movies. You know, I kind of got all of that out of my system back then, and I can understand why a lot of people get into heated arguments about it these days, but I try to not do that. But back then, I was like, motherfuckers, don't make this movie. It's, how dare you? This is not how it works. And, you know, ultimately, it was a bad movie. I don't think I needed to put so much effort into convincing people that it was. But I remember one of my talking points, one of the points of contention that I had with the movie was that the goddess Bast was real, and the character that Halle Berry was playing, the Catwoman character, was making no attempt to spread the word of Bast. Was not saying, hey, never mind Jesus, it's all about Bast. Ancient Egyptian gods are real, and they brought me back to life. You need to believe me. Which is a really stupid point of contention to have with that film. There's so many other points of contention, you know? Anyway.
I can't believe it! We're being rescued by a stranger wearing a turban, and then they disappeared. This can only mean one thing. I have a fairy godmother.
Is she a MILF?
She kinda looks like Piccolo.
Yeah, that's a MILF.
Chad from accounting, no!
Give me my stone.
I don't have your
Stone. And fuck you anyway. I think that's from Alone in the Dark for the PlayStation 3? I don't know. I've never played it. All I know is that one clip. It's a bit of a meme. Is that the main character gets held up like that and the monster says to him, "Give me my stone." And he says, "I don't have your stone. And fuck you anyway." I love that.
Tell me, Shoddy, is it true
No,
our show's going to be
don't.
cancelled after season 2?
Never fear, Tiny Jew. I am sure
No.
the good people at 4Kids will renew you for another season.
Whew! Well, that's a load off my mind.
Not.
Because Borat said not. All right. Well, that's honestly, I would usually keep going for another hour, but like I said at the top of the stream, I'm feeling rough. I'm feeling almost as rough as some of those shoddy jokes, which were really rough. Holy shit. For the record, I do not share Shoddy's opinion on that stuff, any of that stuff. Shoddy's takes are so wildly contrary to mine, for the record. But yes, I do feel like I need to call it there. Having said that, there are a few super chats that have come in that I'd like to read. And I will drink some water. Thank you for your patience today. I know I've been a bit sluggish. Here we go. Let's see. You guys have been so kind and so patient. I do appreciate it. Ninja, thank you for the super chat. We need more Xena rap. Ain't nobody told you that payback's a mother? Heads up, my brother, 'cause here comes another for you, pal. The Xena rap. My goodness. FSM Gauss, thank you for the super chat. Streams will total longer than actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Yay! I don't know if... I guess they might, actually. Master Emil, thank you for the super chat. You mentioned last stream that you were sure there was some way to make a funny version of a character who's selfless to a fault. A shining example of that is Project Mouthwash's Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bladeworks Abridged Emiya Shiro. I'm gonna admit that I'm not super familiar. Sorry. Shout out to the Project Mouthwash folks, though. Thank you, Daniel Clark. You're very kind. Strange Luday, thank you for the super chat. Hello, B. Can Marek sing something for my birthday, too? Oh, thank you and have a lovely rest of your day, and long live thief shipping. I assume it's okay to call you Strange, although that feels rude. Let me see if you... Ooh, the username has disappeared off my screen. But I will happily sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday, dear Steve. I mean, Strange. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I would usually end the happy birthday song with a kill your family, but I don't want to encourage people to do that anymore. I've gone woke. Manic Ishtar is woke. No longer wants to be part of the Kill Your Family show. He has turned his back on his fans. Take care, Shakira. Thank you so much for staying up. Or waking up and joining us. Either way, have a good, you're EP. Have a good sleep. Gosh. Woke Manic. Manic woke tar. Wake up. The hero, Moe Agare. Matthew Galloway, thank you for the super chat. No one will ever understand the pain I feel.
The pain of having a posh shit heat. Shit heat? The pain of having a posh shit head explain attack point quantum mechanics. Damn you, Bastian Misawa. I will get you back. Somehow.
Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Brady of the Brady Bunch, thank you so much for the super chat. Remember how dumbed down the Yu-Gi-Oh! English dub was compared to the original Japanese version? It was me, Barry. I told the 4Kids executives that anime was simply for children. Very good. You did it. It was you the whole time. Thanks, Brady.
Brady!
Carlisle the Cinephile. Carl.
Carlisle the Cinephile.
Thank you for the super chat. You've been on the internet long enough to know that characters don't even need to be in the same franchise in order for the shipping to start, of course. Yes, no, absolutely. They breathe the same oxygen, they must be having the sex. And what you call kind of a dick. Color Theory, thank you for the super chat. I bet if someone made an AI program to make the God cards and it was distributed online, every AI bro using it would never see light again. You know, that's a Black Mirror episode that I would watch. Just a Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Mirror crossover. Platinum V, I mean, I certainly get curious. I just don't think I'd understand it, you know? Anytime people explain the card game to me or the decks, it takes me like weeks to understand. Shakira, thank you again for that super chat, and I hope you have a good sleep. All right. I think that's it for super chats. All right, folks. Thank you for joining me today. I apologize again if I was seeming kind of slow or sluggish, or if I didn't respond very effectively to things. I, again, started new medication today. It's hitting me a little weird. But hopefully by the next time we hang out, I will be a little bit more used to it. Oh, Phinozamu. Thank you for the super chat. B, thoughts on a Kamen Rider dub/abridged series? I'd love Kamen Rider to be dubbed. I think that it would do very well dubbed. I think people would really enjoy watching it in the West. Obviously, there are other foreign countries that have their own dubs of Kamen Rider, so it's not like it can't be done, you know? But as far as an abridged series goes, that's not something I'm interested in making. I made a very specific point of saying I don't want to ever do a Kamen Rider parody because, frankly, I don't think I'm the person to do it. I don't think I understand enough about the culture, even though I've seen almost every Kamen Rider now. I don't think that I'm the right person to do it. I think somebody who is more in tune with the culture of Japan, not just Kamen Rider, should be making jokes about it. I'd be very happy to do like a tribute or a commentary on Kamen Rider, but I don't think I'll ever do something that's like a parody. I just don't think I'm the right person to do it. And also, if I can be honest, I feel having done parodies of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the reaction from some of the fans, I just don't want to do that to the Kamen Rider fandom, you know? The Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom is one thing because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is such a huge property in all manner of parts of the world. Kamen Rider just isn't known, and I don't want people to know Kamen Rider through my joking about it, you know? I love Kamen Rider, though. Shout out to Kamen Rider. He's a sexy guy. Luna Rose Manor, have I ever heard of Netrunner? It's a game, right? No, I don't really know much about it, though. Alright, guys, we're gonna call it there. I can feel myself really kind of winding down. But this has been really wonderful. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed your company. And thank you so much for being understanding about, first of all, me being drowsy. And also, again, not to keep beating at the same drum, but with me transitioning with my voice, you know, with me attempting to change my voice or give myself a more feminine sound, I'm going to be inconsistent. I'm going to probably fuck it up. I'm probably going to, you know, there are going to be times where I probably don't sound very... I don't want to say that sort of thing. I just want to acknowledge that there are going to be times when it probably makes you think, what's going on, you know? But thank you for your patience through all of it. It's something that I'm going through. It's something that I'm figuring out. I know that it's probably, you know, a little weird for some of you. And the fact that you're still here, even if you don't find it weird, even if you do find it weird, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your company, and I appreciate your understanding and your patience. So thank you. I'm probably going to call it there. Thank you so much for hanging out on this beautiful Wednesday. Obviously, once again, rest in peace Dolly Parton, and rest in peace Tim Curry. Huge losses that we're going to be feeling for a long time, but we're feeling especially right now. Please have as good a rest of your Wednesday as you can, despite everything, or maybe because of everything. Take care. Much love. Love you, my sweethearts. Bye. Take care.